Hey guys, Matt here. It's the Broken Supercoach checking in like we always do Monday morning. Just going to take a look at how we went today, how we went this weekend rather. These videos are starting to get, as trades are not happening as often, and there's less news to talk about. It's tricky to sort of bring up some content, but it's all right. We'll still talk about the same old stuff, and we'll go through the score because that's what everyone wants to see, the scores and the rankings. So 23.78, so we hit, that's about par, I reckon. I don't think, I've got to be pretty happy with that considering we've still got a primo on the bench in Tom Stewart. So 23.78, happy with that. Teetered around that same ranking, 2,000. So that's probably, if we can hover here for the rest of the year, I'll be pretty happy with that, considering where we started. We came from 30,000 back. So we've traded well. We've upgraded the team well. We had some low performers this week, some unusual low performers, actually. So we'll go through those guys as well. And maybe one or two unique guys who didn't do too well either. So let's have a look. Run through the squad. So, whatever. So we'll run through here. So yeah, first of all, Dawson got a mad tag, played a few different roles. So sadly, just the 80 from him. He's not hugely owned either. Oh, he's in 20% of teams now, so we're okay. But that actually isn't a lot when you look at it. But realistically, most of the top guys have him, so everyone sort of feeds that 80. And you take an 80 once, so whatever. Sicily the same. Sicily, has he been down? I was going to think, he dropped a 140. He's been inconsistent every now and then, so not too fast. Had a few frees against. Bit of a whinger. So no big deal there. We take a 90 from him. Everyone has him. Sinclair, so good. You got to wonder, he might be defense only next year. Probably be a starter. I like to think about who we're going to pick next year. Might start Sinclair next year. This guy's been amazing. Yeah, Hewitt's unreal. Probably be mid-only next year, you'd think, surely. I don't know how much backline time he's playing, truly, but I don't think we'll get this guy next year in the defense. Dacos, this has been crazy. I just want to talk about Dacos for a minute. This guy's been so good. This is a 500k rookie that we start. He was, 180 or something? Maybe 200 when he started. Yeah, 180 or 190. This is insane production. He scored a 140 last week, 93, 99 this week against North. Such good cover for Tom Stewart. Almost comparable cover. If Tom Stewart had dropped a 99 and a 143 in the weeks that he'd been out, we would have been super happy with it. So we're just so happy that we got Dacos. To a point where I've said this last week, when Stewart comes back eventually, we will throw, how long we got on him? Couple weeks still. 3 weeks, 18, 19, and he's back in 20, is he? So we got 2 more weeks on him. We'll start Dacos over Short, and that's just a given. Unless Ware might get dropped, so we can start looping Short and Dacos, but yeah, there's no chance that I start Dacos. Short's a bench player now, so we won't go near him again, sadly. Just not taking kick-ins anymore. Plays a lot of midfield, roams around halfback, but plays more of a small role. Hate the role. Too late to trade him, obviously. You need 2 trades to get out of this now. So just got to sit with him. When Tom Stewart comes back, lucky we got Dacos, so... we'll look through the mid. So what did I do captaincy-wise? I had said, I probably would have gone Oliver into Laird. Essentially got nothing, so whatever. Both of them worked. If you captain Neil, bad luck. That's his worst score of the year, isn't it? And outside of this Fremantle game. So, yeah, really strange stuff. When Oliver took 124, you always take. 120 and above, I always take. So, Laird again, beautiful. And that's a good thing about Teagle. He probably won't play again. Lysett will be back by the time Teagle's available. So, we can loop him all season for captaincy. Could have I couldn't lose Stewart, but can if we wanted to, going for the next couple of weeks too. Miller seems back, so we're pretty happy with this sort of production because he hadn't given us much. But his last 2 games, he's been absolutely huge. Probably wouldn't captain him because Essendon seemed to be holding midfielders down. And the Dogs were unusually bad, weren't they? McRae, Bont, Libber, Dunkley. This was pitiful from Dunkley. Actually, I didn't see the game till the end. And I saw that Dunkley had only scored, 2 points or something in the first quarter, or 20 points for the first half. And I actually thought, oh no, he's been injured and I'm in trouble here because I've got to find another forward worth 500k. And then found that he just had only scored 60. So I don't know what the role was looking. They obviously got pretty firmly beaten by a better team. So yeah, sadly, that's what happens when you have so many Dogs. When they go down, so do you. So the only unique one is Libber, and he still scored 100, which you love from a forward. So yeah, everyone's got Dunkley, everyone's got McRae. Not too worried about that. We're just glad we didn't throw a captaincy on him, or a vice captaincy even. Yeah, Petrarca back to his 91. Still happy with these. In hindsight, would I have Petrarca? Probably not. Who would that be? I don't know, because we paid so cheap for Petrarca. Or did we? I can't remember when I got him now. Yeah, I think we got him around here somewhere. I think it was that awful, wasn't it? Oh well. Yeah, hindsight, probably not on Petrarca. I think he is hurt. I know that last week I was praising him like crazy, but I still think he's hurt. Steele's been good. You have to remember, even though he's actually outscoring Walsh here now, which is great. So reliable. And Libber is obviously better than Luke Jackson. So that was an absolute winning move, Steele and Libber for Jackson and instead of Jackson and Mills. Jackson and Walsh or Mills. Absolutely winning move. So loving that. Cripps, if I could trade him, I would. And that's what I'll tell you. If you're a Cripps owner and you've got luxury trades now, I'd be shipping this guy off. Hasn't scored 100 since before the buys. Yeah, I genuinely want nothing to do with him. If you could get to Merritt right now, I would, as they pass each other on the way through, price-wise. I've only got 520, so I don't really have that. Hang on, guys. A little bit of a sneeze there, so I thought I'd spare you that one. Yeah, who are we looking for? Like, we're trying to find... Yeah, so Merritt's gone for us now, sadly. So, and is that point chasing gone for Merritt? Maybe. The only thing you'd try for Noah Anderson, maybe, who's having some good weeks, but you can't trust this either. 2 good weeks, meaningless when he hasn't really hasn't shown that type of scoring. Rosie, hard to say because Butters is out, isn't he, at the moment? So, Rosie's floor for me is no good. I don't like it. And Brayshaw's gone for us as well. So if you can get Brayshaw or who's the other guy I was trying to say? Merritt, then do it. But otherwise, I'm just sort of stuck here, aren't I? I'm not going to try this trap again. Yeah, the floor on some of these other guys at this price is too risky for me. So sadly, I've just got to stick it out with Cripps. Sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah, and then my bench. This bench is looking absolutely dire now. Soligo. I like Soligo. I think he's a good young player. Thought he was probably poorly scored there. I think he had maybe a free or 2 against. I think he was probably stiffly scored. Crows probably didn't deserve many points. Now, we got the rucks, Witts and Cameron. Still loving this. The thing I'm scared about here is this the week? So, all right, so Grundy, he keeps going out, so that's good, 19 to 20. So, we've probably got one more week of Darcy Cameron. Break even of 124, so he probably goes down again. And we've got to think about what we're going to do for him. So, it's good to start thinking about it early. I don't think you even sort by total points. I think you go by probably who's in form. We'll have let's say we'll have 520 to deal with. There's really not that much on offer, is there? because Grundy's on the low break even as well. We kind of need a big game out of him. Don't want blitzarves. We're actually in a bit of strife there when we're going to have to hope that Cameron keeps going, because we only want to do this in one trade, and I don't want it to be Marshall, who are just not impressive with him. We don't like his durability. So, yeah, really awkwardly priced that. I mean, Tim English is on the way down, so maybe maybe Darcy Cameron catches him. Don't like Tim English, though. You know, obviously I traded him out for obvious reasons. The guy's reliability is laughable. Yeah, not seeing any really convincing picks here to replace Cameron with in a couple of weeks. So we're just going to hope that he holds his role and keeps dropping out 90s for us. So not essential. And that's my forward line. Not really much to talk about there. Brody seems to be a bit down at the moment. I don't think we've missed any key players, though. So, yeah, I really don't think we've missed anyone. I'm not that bothered not having Mills. You guys know my stance on Mills. Yeah, he dropped 138 this week. Great. He just dropped 285s the week before. So, yeah, Steele's outscoring him at the moment, or on par with him, because that's a 140 now. Yeah, not fussed in the slightest. Mills does this. That's what he does. Brayshaw, yeah, okay, this one hurts. Kind of wish we had Brayshaw, but when we were looking at him, which was round 15, it was 550. Oh, I probably should have thought about him. No, it was round 14 we were making the trade, so it was just an awkward buy. Yeah, we probably should have thought about him in hindsight, but whatever. Just didn't have room for him. And everyone's bringing back in Gawn at 614, but Gawn's on the way down. Still not that impressed. I said this about Gawn before, that he's on the way down, and then he did this when he was on the way down. So 172. So, oh no, it was the 198, wasn't it? He was on the way down, and then he wasn't. So maybe he catch it. Maybe him and Cameron can sort of become comparable in price, but I just don't want it to be two trades to get out of Cameron. But that's what the team's looking like at the moment. We're just going to keep rolling along like this. I don't think there's there's no moves we can make with only 8K in hand and only 3 trades. We've really got to be careful with injuries here. We've still got 5 rounds to go. So have to be very careful with injuries. So you don't want to burn a trade just for fun, and to get out of Cripps or say Cameron, and then or Short. And I don't even want to get out of Short, if I'm honest. I don't really care. Then I need 2 trades to do it. So sadly, there's just no one for Cripps that I like. So I'm not going to trade Cripps to Rosie, purely because I think they're the same player. You know, maybe Rosie has a higher ceiling, but Cripps could drop a 140 for all we know. So I don't think that's realistic. We just got to keep an eye on fitness as well of players. We can't afford to play Saliga or Rioli on field. And in fairness, we can't afford to play Ware on field either. So that's why we've got to hold these 3 trades. Because if a guy goes, he has to, if he misses a week in the midfield or the forward line, then we have to trade, essentially. That's my thought. I can only afford to hold in defense. I can't afford to put a 26 on the field. I can't afford to put a 28 in the field. And if Saliga may get dropped, he'd probably need to rest. So, yeah, to be totally frank, if Petrarca goes out this week due to injury or something like that, or gets a rest, or, Cripps goes out with a rest, then I just have to find something, because we can't afford to have these on field. At the risk of repeating myself over and over, but that's just how it is. So it's round 18. There should have been some new DPPs as well. Let's try to find if there are any. Obviously, they're probably not as irrelevant as we thought. Rioli might be new, actually. Has he always been here? So maybe. So that could be a new DPP. Defense forward's pretty not hugely relevant, sadly. I think that's new. I don't think he was defense forward. I think he was forward only. So there's a DPP. Probably not really relevant, but he is in the top 10 defenders now. So that's an interesting one. As well as I don't know if Tui has always been DPP, or if I'm not sure about him, but you start getting pretty irrelevant stuff there. But yeah, Dan Rioli, I'm pretty sure that's a new one. Let's run into. We don't really care about if anyone got mid. Any ruck DPPs that we care about? Nah, they're all the same old. Yeah, potentially Finlayson's at it is new. He might not have been ruck previously. I don't think so though, but he might not have been ruck, but he deserved the DPP obviously. And if he was ruck already, apologies. And then DPP forward, so nothing relevant here. If any of these are new, I don't really care. Like they're not relevant whatsoever. You know, these are the guys that you want to get. And sadly, Fife didn't make it, so that sucks. And also, sadly, Walsh didn't make forward DPP either, so that sucks too. That's all right. Is what it is. I don't know why I'm scrolling this far. Those guys are junk. So they're the top guys. So the top 5 players are dogs. That's crazy when you really think about it. You got a total points in a Heaney. What a miss. We've got the top 6 forwards total points. We actually love that. That's what you want when you sort by total points. You want to see your 6 players right here. So just to sort of have a look, we don't have Houston, but you know, this is I've just realised I've gone DPP only, so I've probably trolled everyone there a little bit. Let's go back. Are we missing the forwards? Nah, still the top 6, so get in them. Love to see it. Yeah, Mills is a good price, but we can't afford it. We've spoken about these 2 enough. Keys doesn't count. And then in defense, yeah, we probably would have liked to have one of these 3. Crisp is now suddenly outscored Hewitt somehow. That's ridiculous to think. But yeah, we were just never on. These guys are never on our radar. And you know what? I've rubbished Houston a few times, but his floor is just too low. But if you had him, you'd probably be pretty happy with his performance. And same story with Doherty. Anyway, guys, rambled on long enough. Let's have a look at who's playing this weekend. You know, look at any captaincy scores. Do you go Laird into... You want to keep an eye on Oliver. I did hear that he had a bit of an injury there. Potentially he's out a week. I should actually talk about that before I ramble on. I have heard that Oliver is out for 1 week. I don't know if that's the case or not. I'd have to look into it. If Oliver is out for a week, and it's a broken finger or something like that, then perhaps we have to trade him. Because like I said, I cannot have Saligo on field, which means we probably just flick over to Brayshaw. And that's probably how it looks. So if he's out, then I will trade him. And I know that sounds crazy that I'm going to trade a 700k bloke who has not scored under 120 probably since the bye. Since he's not scored under 110 since, or he hasn't scored, since West Coast in round 9, and he dropped a 68. He's actually only scored under 110 twice this year, but I will trade him if he is injured. That's the big news this week. If he is out this week, I will have to trade him, and I hate that that's a thing. But like I said, I'm not putting Saligo on field, so find me another solution, and I'll do it. But if Oliver is out, then he's out of my team, and it'll be Brayshaw in. Which is crazy to think that I've just said that. But anyway, that's good for Petrarca. We've got some extra points against Port. Yeah, sorry. The what I probably run this week is where's Neil? I hate it. I think we're gonna slap the V on McRae, who plays decently against them, against the Saints, and then we probably captain, or not captain. I think we put the C on Laird if that doesn't work out. Collingwood don't really tag much. So I think we go V McRae into Captain Laird. Because Collingwood at home should be a good scoring affair for him. So anyway, guys, that's that. Ended up being quite a long video, didn't it? So have a good one. Enjoy.